Alright, so here's my latest basement setup. I got a new cabinet that I will be installing at some point soon. Door switches up here. This is a 16-channel cabinet, and I got room for a detector rack up top, all my little parts. It has an extra shelf where this one's missing it. So this one here, I believe, is just a little bit wider. I think that this is an M cabinet. This is a pole mount cabinet, so I think it's one size smaller than M. Can't remember off the top of my head. So this cabinet will be going into service in the basement at some point soon, but for now, it's just gonna sit right here. And I just have an Aztec in there right now. It's just sitting there taking up space. This is an old Vantage Plus detector rack that was pulled out of service. It controlled 4 video cameras, iTerra's cameras. It still works, but yeah, it's pretty old, but you know, gets the job done. And then in here, I got Cobalt. I'm still running ASC3, but I'm probably going to update the firmware to EOS. And then got my Polera EN2 CCU here. Got a detector rack just sitting here. Not really doing anything, it's just the preemptor that's currently working. Yeah, this cabinet here has served me good for many years. It's a little messy just because I'm tight for space in here, but everything should be able to fit pretty decently into the new cabinet, but it's just a matter of unwiring it, labeling everything. It's a whole thing. So, ideally, down the road, I'm hoping to get some Wavetronics units, but for now I think I'm just going to stick with the cameras, and I'll get them working at some point soon. So in here, I have a flasher, I have my Preemption board that drives the railroad signals and the just emergency signal here, plus the spotlight over there. That one goes off when somebody approaches my Doppler radar from the other room, so I just know if someone's coming downstairs. Down here is the circuit board that runs the UK style push button over here that you can kind of see. Then I got all my SDLC cables. I got all my wiring going to the back panel there because I don't have a PET isolator board in this, but this cabinet does have one, so it will be a little bit more legit. I also don't have 12 volts in this cabinet right now because I noticed that my fuse for 12 volts blew and I just didn't put a new one in yet, so I'll get on that. And then in here, so right now with all 12 of my channels, I am using every single output. I'm using logic statements to drive these like signal on, head clear, whatever. Basically, it's so I can have one output flashing and another output being solid because they'd only ever be on together, so to speak. And then other ones are for like preemption. One of them's for my advanced, or I guess my leading through interval. And then some of them go dark because of the flashing yellow arrow. So I gotta make sure that there's, yeah, here we go. So you can, one output's flashing and the other output here is solid. And then, yeah, you'll see, yeah, I think there'll be another one. The leading through interval will come on soon. Some of them are for my transit signal. So that's going to clear. Yeah, and there you go. There, that one just shut off. So basically in here, logic flag 1 is just a flashing logic, and that's what that flashing logic is what drives the transit signal when it flashes to clear. And then the other logic flags. Well, here, so right now what we're gonna do is actually, I got a bunch of recalls on right now. So let's just turn these off. And then we'll have no rest in 3, and no rest in 4 and 8, and no rest in 1. Okay. So now my logic flags are off. So it's going to soft recall to 2, and it's going to skip the leading through arrow overlap. So right now, logic flags 3 and 4 are on because there's no other calls. So if I turn on ped call 2, you can see 5 coming on, and then if I turn on ped call, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 is going to go off, and then 5 is on. So that's for the, I have another signal out that's running on phase 14, and that's the advanced sign board. So if I want to call 1, 2, 3, if I want to call 4, it actually has to go to 3 first. So let's clear 2. And then we're going to clear 6. So now the light's flashing, so now it has to terminate. And then it's going to say force off. So we'll force that phase off, and it's going to go to 3. And then when 3's on, it has to go to 4. And then 4 is going to flash, and then the overlap's going to flash. And then the overlap's going to go solid. And then so now it's gonna gap out on this phase, and then we're gonna go to the leading through interval, which is the output you see there. And you can see them shut off. So that's pretty much what's going on in there right now. So now these are just going to rest and walk because there's no other opposing calls. So what we're going to do is we're going to set all the calls in the controller. We're going to go 4, and we're going to go 8, and we're going to go 1. So we'll take a look around here. So I'm going to run this in wide angle mode to make it a bit easier. So that's stopped. So these are going to gap out. So now phase 3 is on, which is an overlap. And this 3M signal is going to terminate, and the other PV in McCain is going to terminate. Now the bicycle signal's green, transit signal's green, left red arrow is on, but the green right arrow is on. So this is the phase 1 left turn. So this is the protected permissive or protected only version, not the flashing yellow arrow version. So both of those will terminate together, back to red, and then we'll be back to permissive green. So the other light that you see there, that middle ped clear light, is the flashing signboard out there. So here we're gonna make some ped calls. So 4 is about to go. So we got the walk. So here, I'll take walk over here. So we got countdown from walk. Then we got the ped light, the European style ped light. My dog upstairs here yelling at the police car driving by. So one of the other things I did here is tacked my 12-inch countdown timer onto my Winkomatic. I saw a light like this on Google Maps somewhere, and I thought it was pretty cool looking, and I realized I should probably put one in myself. So I did. Honestly, most of it was just simply to make room for the Bullseye back here, because that was really the only place I could put it. I'm running out of room down here, unfortunately. Alright, so that's back on. So I missed my leading through interval, so I'm just gonna... Oops. Alright, I'm just gonna call the ped phase again. So going over here... Now we have our 6-section fake gentral. We have our GE. Bottom section's actually an LFE, but like if you don't look too closely at the hinges, like you can't really tell, but they fit together pretty nicely. So now we have our right turn overlap that stays on. Our leading left. So that will stay red like an LPI, leading through interval. And then phase 6 will go green. And we'll go back to permissive, and then it will go back to your flashing yellow arrow. And our flashing yellow arrow on the gentrals on the municipal and the GE. We got our Kraus-Heinz type DT pedestrian signal. And the new 3M model 131 that I was able to grab from work, which was awesome, because we haven't installed one of these in probably about 40 years. And it's in near mint condition. Now, it was missing a couple visors. So that visor's not supposed to be there. This is actually just a GE visor. So we have a green 3M visor, a slightly beat up yellow 3M visor. And for now, I'm just gonna modify this so it kind of sits. So at least it looks like it has visors. But we'll just set it down here for now. I got another Fortran backplate back there that I might put on this, but it's getting a little tight for room over here. So let's take a walk around again. So this is my overlap, that's terminating. So we got back to this. So let's just hit our buttons. We'll hit our wait button. All right, so looking back over on this side, we have a through only. We have our 3M. There we go, we got our walk. And we got our walk down here. So it's a really long LPI, and our lagging left turn. And with the lagging left, we got the advanced green here, but the advanced green turns into a solid permissive green once this gaps out. So solid green. And then we'll go to the left turn overlap. And we got our phase 6 walk. So that's walk. And then we got our other walk over here with our separate LEDs, hand and man. And then we got our ICC 16-inch DT UK style button beeping over here. Our Nyard Pedestrian. And then our couple other units over here. So, and then of course I got my old bridge signal, which just operates by itself. So what we'll do here is I will trigger the preemption. So there's the rail preemption, and then there's this preemption, which I'll show you. So here's the advanced signboard. So that is on now. And then that's gonna come on, so that has just come on. And this is terminating. So we'll always have a red through, and then it will have the flashing left. And then it will go back to that, and then I'll revert back to phase 1. And there's 2 ways that we can go about that. So actually, to make it easier, let's just we'll bring it up in the controller. So let's go to preempt. I think it's preempt 3, but I could be wrong. So we'll go to 3. No, sorry, that was the railroad preemption. It was preempt 4. So now it's just going back to its dwell phase. All right, so now we'll go to preempt 4. So I thought this one was kind of fun because it can go back to yellow, very much like the old style special lefts or whatever, where they would share the yellow ball for the through and left. So, and if we turn off phase 1, it may revert to it, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. it's gone back to phase 8. Or 3 and 8, sorry, which is 4, so. So actually, so this is the actual real preemption here. So after the track clearance, it will basically clear to this phase, and then it will kind of go back to normal, and it will dwell in this phase. And then it will go back to here. And then after it's done, it's going to soft recall back to 1 and 6. Actually, no, because it is a soft recall and a no rest, it will actually just kind of, because there's currently a call on 4 and 8, it's going to hold this phase, because it's only a soft recall, it's not a vehicle recall. So I'd almost have to remove the calls, and then, there we go, and then they'll soft recall back to 1 and 6. And then it will soft recall back to 2. And then it's after the min green period goes, it's just going to rest in this phase. So let's go turn on 4. Let's bring it back up one more time here, back to there. No, it has to go to 1 and 6. Okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah, it always clears to that phase, so that green arrow will always stay on. And then it will be minimum green, gap out. So I didn't actually look at this signal, so let's take a look at this one during preemption. So let's go back to 4. So it has to clear the pedestrian signal first, because it doesn't immediately terminate. Back to the green. Yeah, so this one over here doesn't really look any different. It's really just a 6-section GE groove back in the 3M, which have that odd yellow clearance. Yeah, and then, that was the wrong one. So even when PED phase 4 is called, it will always clear to phase 3 with the overlap first. So that will go through its PED clearance. PED clear through yellow. And then it will go through, and then that will gap out, go to phase 4, and it will be when you go hit phase 4, it will be an LPI first. So this will remain red. And then you'll get your flashing green. And then it will go to solid green. That will terminate, and then it will go back to your phase 1. Start over again. Here you go.